So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's dig into the manual, see if there's something I'm missing. Holy fucking shit, the manual is coming soon.
Yes, the words manifest like the steam on my breath. Condensation on my mind, beats bringing the rest.
Okay guys, so let's talk about the massive disappointment that is Massive X and the way Native has handled it to a huge degree. So at the end of November last year, maybe early December, I did the pre-order for Massive 10, thinking, yes, great, in February this will be available. It will be this finished synth, it's going to be this big next generation moving on from Massive itself, stepping that game up. Because Massive, when it came out, oh God knows, way over 10 years ago now, it was a game changer and it set the scene for dubstep. Dubstep was essentially built around that synth. The thing that came before it was Rob Pappin's Albino 2. Massive came out, changed it, made the whole talking synth, the whole wobble bass thing, the real way to go. And it changed the face of EDM and electronic music. What Native Instruments have done is they've capitalized on the name that it made and they've delivered a really subpar product. So essentially what's happened, I pre-ordered, paid in November, December, around that sort of time. I think it was late November. And you know, here we are now, July. The synth was actually released, if you will, June 27th. They pushed it on and said, yeah, you know, June. Last 3 days of June is frankly a joke for something that's already like 5 months late. That was a pre-order, and it doesn't friggin' work the way it should, does it? You know. One of the key things I've noticed, so when you design a synth sound, if you're designing a bass, a really good practice is to work it out so it's like the mid-range and high range and separate out, use just the sine oscillator to put that in the sub. I kept doing this and the sound was changing, it wasn't functioning the way it should. And it turns out if you just play a sine wave, it's got loads of harmonics and aliasing. Like, you've been able to play a clean sine wave through a digital synth for just about ever. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's dig into the manual, see if there's something I'm missing. Holy fucking shit, the manual is coming soon. This product was 5 months late and the manual is coming soon on something that I pre-ordered November last year. The insanity of this is just unreal and, like, to me, unprecedented. It's a joke. Moreover though, no information was offered on it, and like when I've reached out to Native Instruments, the response I genuinely got was, we've been posting updates on Twitter. Amazing. I don't check Twitter. Why would I be on a like downtrending social media checking for updates on something I paid for like 8-9 months ago? The insanity of it is just unreal. And that's just one thing that's not working like properly inside the synth. So like, you've got your two oscillators. You're supposed to be able to use modulators as oscillation sources as well, apart from they're not like frequency or not band limited. So you can just go way off the spectrum of what you should be able to do with them. And they sound dog shit. They're just awful. As well as the fact that the ADSR, so ADSR doesn't show you what you're doing properly. If you think of any synth, we can go back 10 years, think of Harmer. Harmer has got the ability to make exactly the ADSR shape you want using all these individual curves. You can map the points in, you can set the curve in between each individual point, okay? That is a deep envelope. Moving on from that, we go into Serum, and Serum takes that a step further by being able to add so many different points. You can go far beyond the ADSR aspect of it. And each point and curve is individually done. And when you play a tone, it follows that curve. Massive, no, doesn't do that. And it also doesn't show you what you're actually doing with the ADSR. So it's got a nice readout at the bottom, but the readout is flawed. For example, when you change the curve shape on the decay, I think it is, it's actually affecting the release shape as well. Well, it doesn't show you that, and when you adjust it, the visual doesn't show you that you're also adjusting the release. So if you're trying to program drums and things like that, as you're tweaking it and as you're going through doing this, the sound's falling apart and you can't really work out why. Really simply, you have been adjusting the wrong curve.
All right, so upon some experimentation with the aliasing and the sine waves, it turns out that the filters or some of the filter algorithms are always engaged even when they're not engaged, and that's what's causing it. So there's a quick workaround. So like if you're getting aliasing and other harmonics coming in on a sine wave, on the filter, instead of the default, which is set to fully to the right, which should be off, bring it all the way on, if you will. So say it was like a low pass, it would be cutting everything, and that actually stops it, which makes absolutely no sense. But that turns out to be what it is. When the filter's fully engaged, I don't know what's going on. It's just really weird. And that's in the like standard forward polarity plus. I mean, the way these are laid out doesn't really make sense. I would love to have a look at a manual, but no, we don't have one. We just get to guess and figure out what we're doing. But like if we put it on some other things, we get all kinds of things, but we can take it all the way. And that's going to vary in what's going on, depending on the ratio. But yeah, so if you're having that similar issue, stick it on standard, take it off that way. Because the initialized preset just doesn't work properly as it was set up. But that's one nice little breakdown. I mean, there's a million other things that just frankly don't work. Like this, for example. Oh, look, it's so broken, it's unreal. I give up. I'm done filming the video. Enjoy.